Hello, today I'm going to show you how to enhance the PEPU statistics with information that comes from the HR databases through Power BI. Stay with me. What data do we need? What are the ingredients for this recipe? First file is going to be downloaded from the grid, and it's an extraction of the completed content over a period of time by a group of users. Second file, it's coming from the HR database. We will have to ask our HR business partners to provide us with an employee file with all the attributes we see in here. The join of both files is going to produce an enhanced file with all the information in it. We'll see how to do that with Power Queries in Excel. This merged data is going to be the database that we are going to use with Power BI in order to produce the dashboards with the KPIs, the representations, and the graphs we want to analyze. Now we are going to download the content file from PEPU Grid. In order to do so, we click on our picture on the top right-hand side, and then on the third menu entry where it says Manage PEPU. This is going to take us to the Insights page, where we can see different reports and graphs. Now we're interested in the downloadable reports, so we click here, and then on the Generate Report blue box. First thing, it's about selecting the date range. We can choose among different ones. We're interested in the past 30 days. And then we're going to choose the content added type. There are a few different ones, so you can explore them. Content added is the only one that gives information at GPID level. Name is a bit misleading because it's not content added to the PEPU catalogs, it's content added to the learner's history. So in a way, it's content completed. We can also narrow down selection by entering a group here. And once we're all ready, we can generate the report. This bar here shows that or informs us that the report is being generated, and once it's ready, it will appear in our PEPU notifications. It would also appear as this top line here where we see that it's ready for download. So this is an extraction I just did, same extraction which is ready now for download. I'll show you how it looks like. The Excel sheet that's just being downloaded contains information about the items that have been completed at GPID level. And you can see that these records can repeat the GPID level many times. That means that the same employee has completed several items. What we see, I'll let you explore the information in here, is basically information about the item. So what's the title? Where is it placed in terms of URL? Does it belong to a pathway or not? It's internal or external? When was it completed? How many points the learner earned by completing it, and so on and so forth. Now we are going to explore the file that contains the employee information. To make it simple, I've placed both files, the one we just extracted from PEPU and the employee file, on the same folder. I'll leave you samples of both files in a SharePoint so you can access them, see how they look like, and you can play with them. The employee file is something you should request to your HRBP. This information is only accessible by them, and they can extract it for you. The employee file is pretty straightforward. It's a list of GPIDs. So the GPID is the key of this file with information of the employee, name, surname, together with country, location, level, and so on and so forth. One important thing to be mentioned here is the different manager levels. In this case, I requested an extraction for Europe supply chain from the senior vice president downwards, right? So in this case, I also ask to have in separated columns each of the different managers at different levels for a given associate. So manager 0 would be the senior vice president, and we go down to the level of our immediate manager. All the information we need to slice and dice by level, location, country, different organization structures with managers and so on can be found in this file. This is the one we're going to join with the PEPU content file through the GPID, this column here. Let's merge both files now. I've placed both files on the same folder. Let me open up the PEPU content first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add an additional tab here called employees with all the employee files so you can see it in a better way. This is the employee file I'm opening now. And I'm going to copy and paste all the information in here. Very good. What are we going to do next? Well, we're going to click on the content tab, then click on the employee in one of these columns, and we're going to play the magic of Power Queries in Excel. So go to the header menu, click on data, and then click on from table range. This is going to open up a dialog to create a table, and Excel is smart enough to identify where my table is. I say OK, and it will generate my first query. In order to merge two queries, we need to create them first. That's why we're going through that process. So this is the content file, the content query. And what I will do now is click on the left-hand side in this icon, close and load. The query is extracted to an additional tab that we see in here, this sheet number 2. I'm going to rename it as content query. Very good, and we will repeat the same process with the employees tab. So we click on employees, we go to data, then we click again in from table range to generate a query for the employees. Again, Excel identifies my table automatically. Click on OK. That's the second query. Employee query. And I'll save it by clicking here on close. It's going to generate again an additional tab with the employee query. Let me rename it as employee query. Perfect. So now we're in here, we click again in the content query, we can see both queries, that's pretty nice. And we're going to use the query function, so that's the last entry in the header menu. We click on query, and then we're going to click on merge. This action here is going to allow me merging both queries, content with employee. I click on merge. First table, it's going to be content query, it's proposed by default. Second table, I'm going to choose employee query. If I have more, they would be shown here. Queries is very powerful. It's a really nice feature in Excel. So I'll leave you a URL where you can learn more about Power Queries. In this case, I'm just guiding you through it. We have both tables, and we're going to choose the join kind full outer. So this is going to give us all the matches between this table and this second one. I'm clicking here on the employee ID and the GP ID, which is going to be the key field to do the join between both tables. And I will click on OK. What is this going to do? Well, this is going to take the structure of this table, the content, and it's going to add at the right-hand side as additional columns all the employee information for the matching employee ID. So we will have a row with the content information, which is just and is completed with the employee fields. Let me click on OK here. And that's very good. Now we have the merge already done. The only thing we need to do, so on the left-hand side, we have all the fields that are coming from the content. And the last column we see in here is the employee query. In order to have the right structure to see the fields we want to see, this is condensed, but we want to expand it. and we will click on expand and choose all the fields and just um, click on OK. It says use original column name as a prefix. We can untick this. This is a bit annoying, so we can untick this field and then click on OK. So that's very good. We see that we have in the green columns are the ones that we expanded with the GPID, first name, last name, gender, and so on. You see, in some cases it's null. Why is that? Because the content was completed by someone who was not in the file. So that was someone who's not in Europe, right? When we see there's information is because that person, that GPID, belongs to someone in Europe. So the only processing we're going to do on this table is let's get rid of all these records where the GPID is null. That means that that person is not in Europe, and I'm not so much interested in it because I'm going to run statistics for my sector, in this case for my own cohort or extraction. So I'm going to remove the empty ones. You know, from the 63,000 roughly contents we had in the period in PepsiCo, only 5,000 of them were completed in Europe. So those are the ones I want to display. Very good. Now I can save. That's going to create a table called merge1. And I can save the file now. So let me just save it. And this tab here, it's going to be the structure containing the content plus the employee information, which is going to be the basis for the dashboards we're going to create in Power BI. Let's produce a dashboard with Power BI now. So from your browser, type www.office.com. That's going to take you to the sign-in screen and will take you to a single sign-on at PepsiCo. So enter your email and password and click on all apps. You'll see the Power BI icon. So find it here and click on Power BI. This is going to take you to your space. And what we're going to now is log and get the data. So on the left-hand side, on the very bottom, you see a button that says Get Data. So click on it, please. Then we're going to create new content, and this is going to come from a file. Click on Get, and we're going to bring in from a local file. As you see in here, this could be coming from the cloud, OneDrive, or a SharePoint folder, right, that you're sharing with your team. So I'm choosing this from my desktop. This is the file we have been preparing in the previous steps. And the view that contains all the data is here in the content file. I'm going to click on Open, and I'm going to import now the local file. And I'm going to import it into Power BI. This is what I'm going to do. So import. And this is uploading the information into Power BI. You see there's still a message here saying this is going to take a little while. Let me explain you that if you're interested in more information, I can show you. Now it's ready. It says success, and it's asking me to go to the dashboard. We will go in there. I was saying that I'll leave you a URL with more information, a quick help course on Power BI. So what I'm showing here is just an introduction, and somehow you can just follow as I explain it, but Power BI has lots of possibilities in order to slice and dice data. So I recommend you take that course. Okay, let's come back to our exercise. So I'm coming here, and this is what we see. First thing is this white space is a canvas where we can include our visualizations. Besides the canvas, we have filters column, a visualizations one, I'll talk about that in a minute, and then the fields column, which is the one I want to talk about now. In here we have the different queries, different tabs we had on our Excel sheet. Which one was the one containing all the fields we were interested in? Okay, I'll show you how to bring these fields into the visualizations. I'll talk about 4 different visualizations just to give you an example of what can be done, and you can have a look and feel of what are the possibilities. But I would encourage you to go and take a training of Quick Help to go more in detail, although it's pretty straightforward and you can figure out by yourself as well just by playing around with Power BI. So first thing I want to show you, it's a column chart where we're going to display the different employee levels. So we're going to have a column for the total employees of a given level, and then a column aside with the employees of that level that have been logging into PepView, right? In order to do that, let's go and choose GPID. So that's going to be a value, and then leadership group level. We see the numbers in here, so these are billions, and actually the reason is because the value, it's just summing the GPID value of that level. We don't want the sum, what we want is the count of distinct GPIDs, so the number of people we have. And what we see in here are different columns now. If I position the mouse over a bar, it shows me the values, but I can also get that information as part of the chart. So if I come to format and I switch on the data labels, that's going to be showing it. I showed this rounded up, but I want to have the exact number. So I'm going to display units, going to click here, and it's just going to give me the right number. Very good. These are the total numbers of employees by level. I want to know how many of them, I want to represent how many of them have been logging into PepView. So I'm going to click into employee ID now. And this has been added as legend, but I want to have it as a value as well. So I will place it here. And I want this to as a count of distinct employees. And I want it to be sorted by total number of employees. So if I make this bigger, I can spot it here, have focus mode, showing me the different numbers by level. So blue bar are the total number of employees, dark blue dark blue bar is the number of employees that have been logging in PepView in the analysis period. Let's leave the focus mode and go back to the report now. So that was the first report. The second one I wanted to show you, it's a pie chart of employees by market. And in order to do that, let's choose a pie chart now. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me click back. Let me click here in the canvas and then pie chart. Okay, I can move them around to wherever I want. I can do this a bit bigger. And let me do this a bit bigger as well. And in here, we're going to have the employee ID. It's going to be not legend, but value. And we're going to have that by country. And we want distinct count of employee ID. So what we have in here, it's 181 users that have been logging this period from Russian Federation, 90 for Turkey, 79 from the UK. So you get the numbers, right? It's pretty straightforward. Okay, let's have a look now at the funnel visualization, which is very, very useful. And we're going to have a funnel by subfunction. So let me choose the number of employees that have been logging into PepView from a given subfunction. And the employee ID is the value itself. We see there's lots of them. Actually, if we focus on it, we see the numbers. Again, we have to count on distinct. That's important. So we get the numbers right, with double counting. And we see there's lots of values in here that we may not be interested. We just want the ones that have more than, let's say, 20 active users. So in order to do that, what I can do is come here and see the filter, apply the filter, it's greater than 20. And this is what I get. I'm about to record. I see my numbers in here. Something very interesting is whenever we do a selection, graphical selection in one of the bars of the sections, it applies to all of them. Let's say I want to focus on the maintenance engineering people, these 44 people in here. If I click, it gives me the same values, corresponding values in terms of levels and geography on the other two charts. Right? This is a very nice function. So all the graphs are integrated within. The last graph I'm going to show you, it's a donut chart where we're going to see the content type by the number of items completed. So if I take employee ID, we have one employee per item, if you remember. So if I bring it to the values, that will be the count. So we have 4,300 items completed, roughly. And we want to see it now by content type, which I can obtain by clicking here, and then we see the numbers. Again, this has been, the values here have been simplified. So if I get to the detail label and I display units as known, then it's going to show me the real values. 1,854 courses, over videos, over articles. So that gives us also a good understanding of what are the most consumed formats. Good. This is what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you 4 different visualizations so you could have an indication of what can be done, but many other things can be done in here, and this is really, really interesting. The very nice thing is all these charts are integrated as we have just seen, right? I'm going to stop here. I will be leaving links to the sample files I've been using, also to additional trainings you can take in order to progress on Power BI and Power Queries. And you have also my email and also in the references. You can contact me without any problem. I'll be happy to help you. Thanks a lot for watching.